Hello everyone, welcome to yet another episode of the John Johson Chronicles, the story written almost 7 years ago by myself and friends in high school. It is a story filled with memes, cringe, chaos. Today, we'll be reading chapters 22 through 26. Check out previous videos to see any other chapters that I've read so far. I have a playlist on my channel, Noodles Night Train. Without further ado, let's read. Chapter 22. Who would make the best superhero? JJ awoke, next to the hedges he was cutting, and deduced that he had just been dreaming. Speaking of dreams, JJ remembered the one he had wanted to come true, since he was a little whippersnapper. To find a real-life superhero. So, he rented out an abandoned tire jack factory to hold auditions for the next American superhero. Yes, that's right. JJ now had his own TV show. Anyway, the word got out that the grand prize was a moderately large sack of Quicksilver pineapples, and within months there was a line out the door of contestants. The audition process was quite simple. JJ sat at a judge's booth, constructed of stacked tire jacks and deflated tires. He would call each contestant in, ask them to display to him their superpower, and after, send his bodyguard to usher them out. His bodyguard was a chap from Western Cambridge named Earl. Anyway, the first 7,000 contestants had absolutely no powers whatsoever, so JJ was furious. Yet another talentless scrumpet, JJ would mock, waggling his finger ring at Earl to remove the contestant from his presence. Bachelorette number 7001, however, oh, what a show. His name was Jim. He strolled into the factory, headed for center stage, and sat pretzel position. Sir? Earl asked. No, Earl. Let him be. JJ was captivated. He could feel something magical in the air. Jim began obnoxiously humming, as if meditating. Slowly but surely, his body began to lift off the ground. Lift off the ground. Sweet baby Jeebus, JJ muttered. Jim's performance did not end there. Jim abruptly stopped humming and declared to the heavens, Who would make the best superhero? From above, the booming voices of ancient gods asunder answered, A big effing dingo! A huge bolt of lightning tore through the roof of the factory and struck Jim with the energy of 1,000 suns. After the mist had cleared, on the stage where Jim was once levitating was the biggest, duckingest, dingoest dingo the world had ever seen. It wore a brilliant green cape that blew in the warm summer breeze. Bravo! Encore! JJ applauded. He yelled. JJ proceeded to fill up the entirety of his digital camera's memory with pictures of the dingo. Jim morphed back to normal and was awarded his medium-sized bag of Quicksilver pineapples. He ate them and died 5 minutes later. JJ carved his gravestone, and it said, R.I.P. in peace, Jim. Biggest dingo of them all. Chapter 23. Should have made a left in Albuquerque. I do know how to say that. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. JJ left the tire jack factory after checking off Achieve Best Dream Ever from his bucket list. He decided it was time to get back on track, as his parents were most likely in a severe state of withdrawal at this point. He headed to the best place he knew could get him home, Radio Shack. JJ walked in, purchased the cheapest, most suspicious GPS he could find, jacked the store's van, and floored it like no one's business. 3 days and a voyage across the ocean later, JJ exclaimed, Land ho! As he approached the shores to what he thought was the United States. Driving up onto the shores, he saw that he was not where he thought he was. What gave away this fact most of all was the large volcano jutting out of the center of the landmass he arrived on. JJ took out his protractor and measured the volcano to be roughly 3 miles due west of his location. He gesticulated. Well, I must be in Rio. He smiled and walked towards the mainland. Halfway to the volcano, JJ stumbled across some natives in the dense, sprawling jungle of Rio. Clearly startled by a foreign invader, the tribesmen captured JJ in a trawl net without hesitation. They brought him to the center of their camp, where he was dumped out in front of the village elder. At least that's what JJ thought. It turns out that in reality, this was the village idiot. As JJ soon interpreted, he was to be the new assistant of the village idiot, a man who JJ named Phil. Phil's daily duties were to stumble around, fail at some everyday tasks, and clean out the sh-T from the communal toilet. On various occasions, JJ attempted to communicate with Phil, as to find out more about the volcano just 1.3636363636363636 miles away. Not that complicated of a number. The attempts were futile, as Phil just threatened JJ with a club. This club will be important in the future, so don't forget about it. JJ spent the rest of the day flailing his limbs around with Phil. When night came around, JJ was invited to sleep in Phil's straw hut. Realizing he might have to spend the rest of his days living with these natives, JJ started to think of a plan. His eyes focused on Phil's club that was laying against a shadowy, unknown object, and it was in that moment JJ formulated his plan. His plan went as follows. Step 1. Optional. Move the club aside and take the flower pot it was leaning on as a weapon. Step 2. Required. Equip hamster suit, hanging on door slot. Step 3. Optional. Wake up Phil and inform him that he was going to leave. Step 4. Optional. Hit Phil on the head with the flower pot. Step 5. Required. Leave. Step 6. Required. Make bank. $. Chapter 24. Making Bank. $. Part 1. Following the escape of the native tribe, JJ found his way into Rio. He knew that there was only one way to get home, and that was to buy a canoe and paddle all the way up to the USA. However, JJ left his billions of dollars in his other pair of pants, so he had to make more money to buy the canoe. The volcano in the distance was still nagging at his mind. JJ knew something had to be there that would make him filthy as F rich. JJ spent Thursday morning in town, Rio. I don't know why we need to specify that, but okay. Gathering all of the supplies he thought he would need to walk the now 4-mile trek to the volcano. He stole all the goods, as he was broke. He stole a Sherpa stick, a Sherpa pack, a Sherpa hat, a Sherpa garment, and a Sherpa lunch tin. He set off by midday. About halfway to the volcano, JJ realized he didn't have his Sherpa license, so he had to abandon most of his gear. By the time he arrived at the volcano, he was wearing nothing but a simple pair of Hanes and had some guava fruits as nourishment. This was the perfect disguise, as guarding the volcano were 2 Uruk-hai soldiers. Let it be known that JJ has made the top 10 players list in Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. The soldiers, recognizing such a critically acclaimed player, grunted in submission and let JJ pass. JJ then proceeded to climb the mountain, crawling past all the rivers of lava that were slowly inching their way down the mountain. It took him as long as it takes that one's fish in SpongeBob to make a potato salad to reach the mouth of the volcano. 3 days. That's a really weird sentence. Standing on the brim of the gigantic volcano, JJ spotted his prize on a boulder directly in the middle of the lava pool. JJ took out his trusty-dusty pitcher of yellowish liquid and poured a small ship's worth into the belly of the volcano. Upon contact, the lava instantly petrified, turning into solid gold. JJ grappled down the inside of the volcano to the golden floors and walked up to the pedestal on the boulder in the very center of the volcano. On the pedestal was none other than the One Ring. Chapter 25, Funnier Than 24, Making Bank, $, Part 2. Holy smokes! JJ exclaimed. Wait, what book was this ring from again? Actually, never mind. He reached out to grab the One Ring. The instant the first layer of JJ's skin cells made contact with the ring, a raspy, gnarly, guttural howl was heard. "My precious!" a disgusting voice bellowed. Suddenly, a wrinkly, sad excuse for a living being grappled onto JJ's arm. "Don't take it! Don't take it!" the being growled. "Get off, wanker!" JJ flailed his arm and sent Gollum, yeah, that's who it was, flying into a slot machine nearby. Okay. The slot machine rolled 3 bolognas and started spewing out diamonds. "Well, I guess I made bank," JJ stated, turning to smile and wink at the camera. Gollum was not dead, however, and attacked the cameraman, causing JJ to fall out of the shot. The director called, "Cut!" "Wait, this isn't a movie. Who the heck are you people?" A sound is heard, inferred to be the narrator leaving to raise heck. JJ had done it yet again, the little buster. Stuffing his pockets with diamonds, JJ hightailed it out of there. With undying swagger, JJ walked back into town, returned all of his Sherpa gear, and was arrested for theft. He managed to bail himself out with just enough money left to buy a canoe without a paddle. This is one of my favorite chapters. Chapter 26. Up Shite's Creek without a paddle. The local authorities informed JJ that the only way to get from Rio to the USA was via a very large creek west of the town. Thanking the now very rich officers that had just arrested him, JJ got in his canoe and clawed at the earth, pulling himself and the canoe all 6 miles to the creek. Once there, JJ got out of the canoe, secured the vessel on a large tree, and began to swim down the creek. What JJ failed to notice before he delved in, however, was the dank-arse sign next to his canoe that read, "Shite's Creek, the creek that makes you poo, unless you have a paddle." JJ grasped his stomach in agony. "Oh, I gotta poop," he yelled. His stomach rumbled at a degree he had never experienced before. He felt this rumbling proceed downward, and before he knew it, he had to SH-T his brains out. Luckily, all he was still wearing was a pair of Hanes, so he ripped them off. "Okay, if I keep swimming, I can get through this." JJ's mother had taught him one good thing in life, when she wasn't high. Don't defecate in the pool. JJ swore an oath to this rule, and lived by it as if it was a creed. He struggled for hours on end, swimming all the way up Shite's Creek in a manner that would make Michael Phelps jealous. However, JJ's primal urges were overcoming him. He needed to release the pent-up fiber in his colon. Unable to wait any longer, JJ released all that had been festering in his rectum for hours now. Yeah, I'm sorry for this, chapter's kind of gross. The jet of shart coming from his $$ was so strong, it acted like an engine and propelled him at ludicrous speed the rest of the distance up the river. JJ was one amongst many that proved how Shite's Creek got its infamous name. The world below became a pinprick as JJ soared through the god-dang heavens. And yet again we have finished several more chapters of the John Johson Chronicles. Thank you very much for listening, everyone. As usual, please consider giving me a like and a subscription, maybe hitting the bell so you know when I release new videos. And also, be sure to comment if you like this reading. I've been trying my best to respond to comments, the little that there are, but you know, I'm responding and I'm liking those comments, so I see you people. I see you. As usual, be sure to stick around. I will be releasing more videos as time goes on. Every day. Thanks again, everyone. See you later.